everyone, this is Lisa from Life and Layouts over here on the Scrap Room, and today I am using one of the flavors of the month, and it is Echo Park I Love Spring. With the kit you get 3 pieces of pattern paper, 2 white cardstocks, half of the ephemera pack, and then if you get the embellishment kit you will also get the chipboard pieces. So here are the 3 pieces of pattern paper as well as the chipboard pieces. I'm going to be using the Freaky Fast Friday formula for this month. And so I have put all of the measurements on the screen for you. Florals and butterflies in them. And I am not really a floral person. So I do end up using a lot of the B side of the pattern paper, and that's what I love so much about these flavors of the month. Rochelle really does her best to give you a lot of variety in the pattern paper that you get. You only get the 3 sheets of pattern paper, but you are able to make a beautiful 2-page layout with the pattern paper that she has given you. So I'm going to distress all of the edges of my paper, and I didn't really have to play around a lot with this particular Freaky Fast Friday. Sometimes I struggle with it and try to figure out how I'm going to use those pieces, but for this one I really felt like the base page came together so quickly because those measurements were just perfect. I did use my banner punch to make a banner on that smaller piece there. And what I decided to do was I wanted to back my photos, but I knew that I wanted to use that yellow stripe paper on the right side of my layout. And so I just mounted my photos in the center of that yellow paper. And then once I get that piece of paper on my layout and cover it up with the photos, you're not even going to realize that there was a hole cut out of it. So I did use some fun foam to pop up these 2 photos, and I did mount them together because I felt like it allowed for the photos to really showcase on that left side of the layout. So here's the right side of the layout, and I do audition the bees, which is what's on that blue paper, and I just didn't like it. I don't think that it has anything to do with the paper itself. It's just, it didn't really go with the theme of my layout. Now, I did have this spare piece of pink paper here, so I went ahead and just cut down my photo to match it. I'm gonna put a grid style photos on the right side of the layout, and once I get this yellow piece of paper down, I do use my T-square ruler to get it down to make sure that it's completely straight. It does go from the far left to the far right. There's only a border on the top and the bottom. Now, I realized that my photos were not going to cover everything up, so I just went ahead and cut out this banner strip and added it right to the right so that it helps with covering up that spot in the middle. So these photos were when I went to visit my nephew. He lives in Illinois, and his grandfather owns a farm, so he's able to do lots of farm work on the farm itself. So that includes brushing the horses and going out and checking on the cows. They have a cattle farm, and that also means that he is able to drive the Range Rover, and he's only 9, so he impresses me a lot. This little piece of ephemera here, I didn't like the actual side of the ephemera, but I thought that the white side would be perfect because there's lots of white in this kit, and I just needed something on the back there. So if you find some ephemera pieces and you don't like what's on them, but you like the shape of them, you can just add a little bit of distress ink on the edges and use it as a white piece of ephemera. Now, I did cut that piece of ephemera twice. There's a piece stuck on the far left-hand side of the layout, and then this piece with the flowers, I went ahead and added it to the top of the photo on the right. So I decided that I, again, liked this banner, but it was not the right color. I went ahead and used my distress ink to make it the color that I want, and then I cut out another banner just tracing the one that I had in the B paper. So it has like 3 blue color banners up there at the top. Once I get all of them adhered down, I do like to use my paper trimmer to trim the very tops so that they don't overlap. They look just flat. So they sit right at the top of that pink paper without any overlap. And that's just a personal preference. You can leave it the way it is and have them sticking out. I think that it looks fine the other way. It's just not something that I prefer. I did use a lot of the pieces in this embellishment pack as bits and pieces. Like, I cut them out because I didn't really like the wording. There was a lot of spring because the title of this Echo Park kit is called I Love Spring. And while this was in the springtime that we were up there, it was in May, it just didn't fit with the overall aspect of the layout. I did feel like I needed something extra, and so I went ahead and fussy cut these 3 butterflies that I'm going to show you here. And I did go ahead and cut their antennas off just because that would have been torturous to try to fussy cut them. I go ahead and put 2 of the butterflies down flat, and then I add pop dots to the top of that pink butterfly's wings, and then I just use a marker to write in their antennas. I'm just adding a few additional chipboard pieces to each one of my clusters just to give it a little bit of extra dimension in each cluster. And I thought that this rain boot was super cute because that is something that Malachi wears a lot. Obviously not yellow rain boots, but he wears these big black boots so that, you know, he doesn't step in anything that's you don't want to step in out in the cow pastures. And I thought that that was a really cool addition to this. I do add some misting. I just go ahead and add my splatters. This is Heidi Swap in teal, and I add it to both sides of the layout. And then I do use stickers and thickers from my stash, and I'm going to spell out the words Simple Life for my title. Those brown letters, they look kind of like burlap, and I got them from Hobby Lobby. These stickers here are all different colors, but the colors match perfectly with the colors that are in the I Love Spring from Echo Park. So I want to encourage each one of you guys to go check out the Facebook page and try out the Freaky Fast Friday challenge for this month. You do not have to be a member of the Kit Club to join us in the Freaky Fast Friday challenge, but if you decide that you want to be a part of the Kit Club, make sure that you let Rochelle know that I sent you, and she will send a special little surprise for you in your first month's kit. So here is my final layout as well as some close-ups. If you enjoyed this video, if you wouldn't mind giving us a thumbs up, we'd really appreciate it. If you want to see more inspiration for the Flavors of the Month kit and all of the kits that the Scrap Room offers, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Thanks everyone for watching, and I hope that you have a scrappy day.